Hi, welcome to Virtually Sunday, presented by Whatsoever You Do Incorporated in Green Bay, Wisconsin. My name is Tony Pickler, the Mission Outreach Director for Resurrection Parish in Green Bay. Those who know me also know that I am a sports junkie. I love sports, all kinds of sports. Sometimes when I'm watching a game on TV, I'll hear the play-by-play announcer describe a play with the word authority. Giannis slammed that ball down with authority over Embiid. Or Aaron Jones ran with authority to the goal line and scored another touchdown for the Packers. Authority. It's used in so many instances and in so many ways beyond the football field or basketball court. We talk about a teacher having authority in the classroom, or a judge having authority to send someone to jail or prison for a crime committed, or parents having authority over their children. There is authority all over the place. But is there really? It seems we might have an authority crisis in our world today if we really dig into the meaning of the word and the scriptures for this weekend. In Latin, the root word for authority is auctor, meaning originator or promoter. And this, of course, is where the word author comes from, which is contained right within the very framework of the word authority. Most of the examples earlier were not necessarily authority, in my opinion. Rather, they were power on display. And it seems that we have plenty of that in our world, of power. One politician beats down another politician verbally in the televised debate, showing their power over the other. We have one group showing its power by not allowing others full access to the basic human rights of being a human in our world, including shelter and clothing and food and education and healthcare. We have countries showing their power over another, trying to diminish them and even wiping them out beyond recognition. There are plenty of examples of power in our world. But where is the authority? In the time of Jesus, a Jewish rabbi was said to have authority by being able to quote from the person they themselves learned the Torah or the Jewish scriptures from. Not everyone had the opportunity to go to rabbi school, for instance, women and poor people. So not everyone could acquire authority to speak in the teacher's name upon leaving the school. This created not only an authority dynamic, but a power dynamic as well. The religious leaders held power over the believers for this knowledge that they had and this authority to be able to speak because of what they learned from a renowned teacher. In the first reading for this weekend, from the book of Deuteronomy, Moses told the people that a prophet like me will the Lord your God raise up for you among your kin. To him you shall listen. And of course, there were plenty of Israelite leaders following Moses who rose up and spoke with authority from a rootedness in the relationship to God as Moses had enjoyed. The prophets such as Isaiah and Ezekiel and Micah spoke with authority as they too were grounded in this relationship with God and could speak from a heart which was firmly planted in this love of God. And of course, certain kings enjoyed this special relationship of authority with God as well, most notably King David. Jesus, in the Christian scriptures, comes along and teaches, preaches, and heals with authority. In today's gospel from Mark, we have the story about Jesus entering the synagogue on the Sabbath and teaching. But he taught differently. He taught from his groundedness in a relationship with his Father. He didn't rely on the words and thoughts of the rabbis who came before him, but Jesus doesn't stop there. When a man with an unclean spirit is brought to him for healing, Jesus calls the spirit out of the man and frees him from this plague that he had probably suffered from a long time. Upon seeing this, the people were amazed and asked one another, "What is this? A new teaching with authority. He commands even the unclean spirits, and they obey him." Jesus taught and healed with authority, but he invites his followers onto the same path. In the Gospel of Mark, chapter 6, Jesus sends the disciples out by the highways and the byways to teach and heal themselves. And he gives them authority over unclean spirits, just as he had. It is now not only Jesus who has authority, but his disciples as well. Then, in Luke 10, Jesus gives the 72 disciples, whom he is sending out to teach and heal, the authority over unclean spirits as well. And upon their return, the disciples report that even the demons are subject to us because of your name. And finally, in Matthew 28, right before his ascension, Jesus tells the disciples that all authority on heaven and on earth has been given to him. He therefore sends out the disciples with the same mission to baptize in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit with the same authority. Jesus had a special authority, a unique way of teaching and healing that derived from his relationship with God the Creator. And his disciples have that same authority. And this, by the way, includes us, which brings me back to our issue of an authority crisis. While people are shouting each other down, ramping up their military hardware, and mounting forces to keep out the stranger, is this the authority that Moses and Jesus were talking about? I don't think so. Maybe, just maybe, there's a different answer in our world. True authority. Authority which comes from a relationship with our God, a God of love. Not a smug authority, not one with all the answers, not my way or the highway authority, but authority from within, grounded in the Spirit. An authority that grows from within, not power over somebody outside of ourselves, in which we try to gain more and more of. Recently, a few of our Streetlights Outreach volunteers gathered to talk about our approach to our positive presence on the streets and how to replicate that so that the presence to our brothers and sisters experiencing homelessness can grow this next summer. Do we have all of the right answers? No. Do we have the power to change this community with the wave of a wand, making all things better? No. But even the mayor and his staff at the City Hall in Green Bay recognize that something we have been doing over these last couple of years with our renewed presence on the streets with Streetlights Outreach is making a difference. What is that difference? Meeting each person one-on-one and accepting them and loving them as they are. Not to be created in some image that we have for them, but rather to love them as they are, children of God, made in God's image. Providing a hot meal? Sure, of course, that's part of the relationship. So is a warm blanket or a coat where needed. But more importantly than any of that is knowing a person's name, accepting them as lovable people. That is authority grounded in the Spirit of our God and shared with those in our community, just like those 12 and those 72 disciples sent out 2 by 2 by Jesus all those years ago. Power or authority? What's going to make a difference in our world today? We choose to be originators and promoters of love. That is authority. And it is with that authority that we will continue to build the reign of God just a little bit more in our world today. God bless you and have a great weekend.